In an era marked by rapid environmental transformation, the world faces a critical juncture in its relationship with the animal kingdom. As human civilization expands, so do the threats to wildlife, placing countless species at risk of extinction. From habitat destruction to climate change, pollution, and unsustainable practices, animals confront a myriad of challenges to their survival. Understanding these perils is essential to fostering a collective commitment to conservation and preserving the rich tapestry of life that inhabits our planet. In this video, we will talk about why this world is becoming dangerous for animals. So make sure to watch the full video. 1. Loss of habitat. Human expansion and development encroach upon wildlife habitats, leaving animals with less space to survive and thrive. Deforestation, urbanization, and industrial activities disrupt ecosystems, leading to habitat loss and fragmentation, pushing many species towards the brink of extinction. The destruction of forests, wetlands, and grasslands deprives animals of their homes, food sources, and breeding grounds, threatening biodiversity and disrupting delicate ecological balances essential for their survival. 2. Climate change. Rising temperatures, erratic weather patterns, and sea level rise disrupt ecosystems worldwide, impacting animal habitats and behaviors. Climate change alters migration patterns, disturbs breeding cycles, and threatens the survival of species adapted to specific environmental conditions, posing a significant threat to biodiversity. Increased temperatures, extreme weather events, and changing precipitation patterns exacerbate habitat degradation and species vulnerability, amplifying the urgency for mitigation and adaptation strategies. 3. Pollution and contamination. Pollution from human activities contaminates air, water, and soil, endangering wildlife and ecosystems. Chemical runoff, plastic waste, and industrial pollutants poison environments, harming aquatic and terrestrial life. Pollution disrupts food chains, affects reproduction, and contributes to population declines among vulnerable species. The accumulation of pollutants in ecosystems poses long-term health risks to wildlife and ecosystem stability, demanding comprehensive remediation efforts and sustainable practices. 4. Overexploitation. The demand for wildlife products drives unsustainable exploitation of animal populations. Overhunting, illegal trade, and overfishing threaten the survival of many species. Unsustainable practices disrupt ecosystems, leading to imbalances and further endangering the long-term viability of animal populations worldwide. Wildlife populations are depleted at unsustainable rates, leading to ecological imbalances and the loss of biodiversity, necessitating stringent regulations and conservation measures to promote sustainable resource management. 5. Human-wildlife conflict. As human populations expand, conflicts between people and wildlife escalate. Habitat loss and resource scarcity force animals into human settlements, leading to confrontations over food, territory, and safety. Crop damage, livestock predation, and property destruction intensify tensions, jeopardizing both human livelihoods and wildlife conservation efforts. The encroachment of human activities into natural habitats increases the frequency and severity of conflicts with wildlife, highlighting the urgent need for effective conflict resolution strategies and coexistence measures. 6. Invasive species. Non-native species introduced by human activities pose threats to native biodiversity. Invasive plants, animals, and pathogens outcompete native species, disrupt food webs, and alter ecosystems. Invasives spread diseases, damage habitats, and exacerbate the decline of native species, posing significant challenges for wildlife conservation and ecosystem restoration efforts. Invasive species outcompete native wildlife, disrupting ecological balances and threatening biodiversity, necessitating proactive measures to prevent and mitigate their impacts. 7. Illegal wildlife trade. Illegal trafficking of wildlife and wildlife products remains a lucrative global industry. Poaching, smuggling, and trafficking operations threaten endangered species and drive biodiversity loss. Organized crime networks profit from the exploitation of wildlife, fueling corruption and undermining conservation efforts worldwide. The illegal wildlife trade fuels organized crime, destabilizes communities, and undermines conservation efforts, underscoring the urgent need for robust law enforcement and international cooperation to combat wildlife crime. 8. Fragmentation and connectivity. Habitat fragmentation and loss disrupt natural connectivity between ecosystems, isolating animal populations and limiting genetic diversity. Fragmented landscapes impede migration routes and breeding opportunities, reducing species resilience to environmental changes. Efforts to restore connectivity through corridors and wildlife bridges can help mitigate the impacts of habitat fragmentation, fostering gene flow and enhancing ecosystem resilience in the face of ongoing habitat loss and degradation. 9. Unsustainable agriculture. Agricultural expansion and intensive practices degrade natural habitats, posing threats to wildlife populations worldwide. Deforestation for agriculture, pesticide use, and monoculture plantations destroy habitats and harm biodiversity. Sustainable farming practices and habitat conservation efforts are essential to mitigate the adverse impacts of agriculture on wildlife. Unsustainable agricultural practices degrade soil health, pollute waterways, and fragment habitats, highlighting the need for sustainable land management practices to safeguard wildlife and ecosystems. 10. Lack of conservation efforts. Despite growing threats, insufficient conservation efforts and enforcement exacerbate the challenges faced by endangered species. Inadequate funding, weak governance, and conflicting priorities hinder effective conservation initiatives. Public awareness, policy reforms, and international collaboration are critical to safeguarding wildlife and preserving biodiversity for future generations. Lack of conservation efforts and funding undermine species protection and ecosystem health, underscoring the urgent need for concerted action to address the root causes of wildlife decline and habitat destruction. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.